spirits, and a whole lot more. It's What's Cooking on Wine, done live at 6 o'clock Monday nights at Roost Chris Steakhouse in Pasadena, California, and then the replays throughout the weekend right here on CRN. So if you love wine and you love great food, it's What's Cooking on Wine right here on CRN.
A CRN original.
And now, The Lounge with Mike Horn.
Welcome to The Lounge, special edition of the show. Good to have you all with us. What a show we got for you today. Been after this one for some time. Those of you that like records and the record promotion business, we have the dean of record promoters out there. I don't know if he is or not. I call him the dean because he is the best. Talking about the one and only Donnie Graham, who has been working on records for as long as I can remember. One of the greats of our business. So many great stories. You want to know behind the scenes how people get their songs played? You know, nobody knew who Frank Sinatra was in the early days, but it was a record promoter that would take the music out to radio stations and say, you got to play this guy. He's going to be great someday. People say, Frank Sinatra, who is he? And that's how records started. So we get that story from the great, the legendary Don Graham. Donnie, it's good to have you here in the studio.
Hey, Mike, thanks so much. Nice to be with you.
You are the greatest of all. You know, you always have that stamp. Ever since I started out in the radio biz when I was at K Barbecue in Burbank, even before that probably KCSN in Northridge, anytime a song would come in from you, a record, it would be stamped with a big thanks, Don Graham. How did that start for you?
Oh, it was all an accident. Back in the days when there was the single RPM 45s, I used to, in San Francisco, at a little distributorship I worked at, I used to stamp on my records, thanks, Don Graham. So when I take them to radio stations, they would stick out for the disc jockeys, oh, that's Don's, and they didn't know, oh, that's Don's. So I just kept the thanks, and some people wrote no in front of it and sent it back. But
no thanks. They sent it back. That's the humor of Don Graham. Where were you born as a kid? Where were you raised? In the Bay Area?
Hollywood, California.
Oh, Hollywood.
Yeah, I lived there in Hollywood for about 6 to 8 months, and then my mother moved to Marin County up by the Golden Gate Bridge. Because I said, Mom, how come we live in Marin County? I was in Hollywood. And then she said, people in L.A. have no taste.
Have that? Well, and that's still true to this day. That's why you and I live here. That's right. Okay, so when you were born, your first 6 to 8 months were in Hollywood. So for all you know, you remember the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah. I grew up in Marin County. I went to grammar school, high school, and college in Marin.
And it was just you and your mom?
And my mother and my father. My father passed away after we lived there for about 8 or 9 years. But
so he passed away when you were at an early age.
Right. And Marin County was a great place to grow up, Mike. It was where I used to chase cows. There's now condominiums, you know. It's just beautiful up there. And it's a great area to grow up in. Grammar school and high school and college, they have great standards, and I really enjoyed it.
So Marin County, I don't know if you like sports. Were you a San Francisco Giants fan?
Oh, yeah. Giants all the way.
To this day still?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
I
love you so much, Don Graham. I can't believe I can't go to a ball game with you if they're playing the Giants. I'm a Dodger boy.
My son Mark is a big Giant fan, but I'm a
really?
I'm a Dodger nut now because they've become so long and they've turned it around. And they're an exciting team now.
So as a kid, you grew up in the Marin area. Did you settle down there, and that's where Mark was born, your son?
Yes, I settled down there, and like I say, I was drafted up there, and I went into the service up there. And when I came out of the service, I was still living in Marin County. And my next-door neighbor, I was a big music fan while I was in the service, and I struck up a friendship with an engineer. And we developed a gyroscope, Mike, that could put a turntable on. I had a number 9C when the turntable was really stable, and I could play. And
come on.
I could lay.
You're talking about this was in the Navy?
Yeah, and I could lay.
So you had a gyroscope that had the turntable so it would stay balanced while you were rocking up and down at sea?
Absolutely, and I lay in the rack, and 3 racks up. And
you gotta be kidding me.
Listen to my music, and they had inspection aboard ship, and they opened my locker up, and my albums would fall out. Where's all your clothes, Graham? And they're all music albums. I said, I don't know.
So in the service, you were already a music guy. We're going to find out this story. This is great. Don Graham is with us for the next hour. Settle back. We got a great story. If you love music, if you like a great human being, Don Graham's your guy, and we got a story today. I'm Michael Horn. We're in the lounge.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you want to buy a home, we could help you get a great mortgage that may require as little as 3% down. And we also invented Rocket Mortgage. It gives you a solid approval in as few as 8 minutes. And for 8 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Call America's largest mortgage lender at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Based on Rocket Mortgage data in comparison to public data records. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Results may vary.
As soon as we're back out in our yard, yep, we get company.
Dandelions, lurking crabgrass, and weak-thin grass. But the all-new Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action takes care of them all. Now, with one bag, you can kill weeds, prevent crabgrass for up to 4 months, and feed for greener grass. Triple Action, so your lawn thrives, guaranteed. Only from Scott's.
Weeds aren't welcome here.
This is a Scott's Yard. Pick up a bag of Scott's Triple Action today.
Welcome back here to the Lounge. Michael Horn, our special edition of the Lounge today with the one and only Don Graham, record promoter extraordinaire, the winner of Billboard Awards, winner of Gavin Report Awards. We'll tell you all about that here on the show. But I can't believe you were in the Navy, and you had a friend who was a genius engineer.
He was a great guy, and he really terrific knowledge of mechanics and how to put things together. And I told him my problem, and he developed this gyroscope that put a turntable on it. And see, when the ship was pitching back and forth, Mike, I could listen, and the turntable remained completely flat. But it was a marvelous thing. And when I was discharged, I moved back to Marin, and my next door neighbor was a West Coast sales manager for Capitol Records.
Well, back up a little bit now. Before you got into the Army.
Navy.
I'm sorry, the right, it's gyroscopies at sea. I'm sorry, I already got you in the wrong the division there. So what got you into music as a kid? When did you start liking music and records? Were you listening to the radio as a kid? What was going on?
A lot of radio, and I was collecting, remember 78s?
Right.
I used to collect those. And
in high school, let's go into high school, because you started out at an early age doing promotional work. Give us what happened in high school. Were you like a class president or something?
I was, in my junior year, they made me president of the student body.
Wow.
In charge of all the talent they had in the gym. Every Friday they had a rally.
Why you? Why'd they pick you for the talent?
Because I was nuts about music, and they said, these rallies we're having in the gym, nobody's showing up because the teachers would come in and play violins and have jugglers, and nobody cared.
Nobody wanted the teachers to play violins, right? They wanted to hear the guys, stars of the day.
So they said, Graham, you take over all the talent and get somebody in there that'll show up for these rallies.
So what, you're about 16 years of age.
So I'm about 17.
16, 17. Yeah. What do you do to get stars to come to high school?
Well, there was a great jazz club, Mike, located at Turk and Hyde Street in San Francisco.
Turk and Hyde.
Called the Black Hawk.
The Black Hawk Club.
And the Black Hawk, I used to go there and sneak in to watch jazz musicians.
Because you're underage, right?
Oh, 17.
And you'd sneak in and watch the jazz.
And Helen Noga, who was Johnny Mathis's manager.
Helen Noga of the famous Noga family in Beverly Hills?
Exactly. Was running
the Picosta family that started KROQ?
She was running the Black Hawk.
Whoa, so she was a promotional person.
So I would stick my head in the window, in the door, and say, Miss Noga, get out of here. You're too young. I'm going to lose my license. Get out of here. And I said, I gotta come in. No, you can't. So one night I went over there when I was a sophomore in high school, and just made me the student body president. And I said, Miss Noga, I got to talk to Mr. Brubeck. Dave Brubeck was playing there with his quartet. You can't come in here, Graham. You lose my license. And I said, please, on his break, give me 5 minutes. I'll just talk to Mr. Brubeck, and I'll leave. She said, okay, on his break. Okay, Graham, there's a break. And I saw Dave Brubeck step down off the...
This is Take 5, Dave Brubeck, the famed Dave Brubeck
Before he
quartet.
had Take 5, yeah.
Yeah, before he had it. He was performing there, okay?
Exactly. So I saw him step off the stage, and he walked in front of the crowd and into the men's room. I followed Mr. Brubeck into the men's room.
Into the boys' room, got it.
And he was standing there in front of the urinal.
Never mind, I got you.
I said, Mr. Brubeck.
Captive audience for you.
Mr. Brubeck, and he looked at me and he said, I can't shake your hand right now. And I said, that's okay. I'm authorized to give you my entire budget if you will come and play for 1 hour at the gym at Drake High in San Anselmo. He said, 1 hour, your entire budget. At that point, Paul Desmond walked in, the sax player.
Right.
And he was standing at the next urinal. And he heard the conversation. And I said, please, Mr. Brubeck, consider it. I'll give you my entire budget. And Dave Brubeck turned to Paul Desmond. He said, what do you think, Paul? Paul turned to me and he said, young man, how much is your budget? I said, $80.
$80. You got $80 to get
So
for Dave Brubeck for an hour.
Brubeck looked at me and he said, I'll tell you what, give it to your favorite charity. We'll be happy to come over.
Wow.
I was ecstatic, Mike.
Wow.
I went nuts, Mike. So
You got Dave Brubeck to come to your high school.
Right. And I said, Mr. Brubeck, I'll come pick you up. He said, that's all. I know where San Anselmo is. He lived in Berkeley at the time.
Right.
So this was on a Tuesday night. Friday night, he was due to show up at 12 noon Friday. And so I went back to school. And on Wednesday, I told the student body we're going to have the Dave Brubeck Quartet live, 12 noon, in the gym for 1 hour, live. The entire quartet.
What'd they say?
And they went nuts. They're making up signs. Welcome, Dave Brubeck. And it's unbelievable. The word got out. And the 2 other high schools in Marin County, and all the teachers were showing up. Well, the gym was packed.
And then you surprised them all by bringing the teachers in to play their quartet, right? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's a great idea.
No, it's not.
So, Mike, anyway, they all made these signs up, and the gym was packed, and it was overflowing, and the students from other schools were there, and it was a total success. And so they said, who are you going to have next, Graham? You know Dave Brubeck? And I said, yeah, Brubeck and I are like that. We're just tight friends, They said, who's next? And so I got other jazz musicians. Cal Jader came.
Wow.
Vernon Alley came. I got Mongo Santa Maria to come.
Come on.
And
all for the same budget. Your total budget of $80 donated to charity.
Right.
It's good.
And so I was a star on campus. It was just unbelievable.
So the high school was really cooking then. People would come, you're saying, from the other high schools would show up to these rallies.
You couldn't get in the gym.
You did that when you were a senior then as well, too? It just kept on going?
Right.
You're probably the best student body president. What was the school?
Sir Francis Drake High.
Sir Francis Drake High. You did that over there.
In San Anselmo.
And where?
In San Anselmo, Marin County.
San Anselmo, Marin County. All right, so you did that. So now you get through high school. That's pretty good. Did you graduate music cum laude or something like that, high up on the scale?
The seniors were all addressed by people who come by from the Army and the Navy, the Coast Guard, and the Marines, and they set up these booths to recruit us to join,
They would do that. They do that any day now, but that's part of the deal at school, high school, yeah.
They had these reserves, and so I joined the Coast Guard Reserve because I know I wouldn't have to go I could go down to San Francisco, to Port Harbor, and just go to those meetings down there.
Go to the meetings and be ready to go as if you were called
And the guy
up.
who was recruiting for the Coast Guard said, every Wednesday night you just go to learn how to tie knots. And I said, I can do that,
So he showed you how to tie knots.
And so
are you still good at tying knots to this day?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And so my number came up to be drafted. I went to Government Island over by Alameda for the boot camp. And after 10 weeks of boot camp and doing push-ups and tying knots and stuff, I got my orders. And my orders said,
where'd you go?
Alaska.
Wow.
I said, wait a minute, I got the commander. I'm not going to Alaska. So they said, okay. 2 days later, I was sitting in front of the commander. He said, at ease, Graham, what's up? And I said, my orders, sir, say Alaska. And he said, that's right. I said, I can't go to Alaska. I want port security. I want to be aboard PT ships, just go out to the Golden Gate, check for narcotics, come back in, and go home at night. He started laughing. He said, I'll make a man out of you. Go to Alaska. So 2 years aboard ship. And I got discharged. And my next
So you were in Alaska for 2 years?
Yeah, aboard ship.
Yeah.
Listening to my jazz.
Listening to the gyroscope. See?
That's right.
And you should have kept that guy that was your friend. Look, you could have. Lawrence Welk used to have that turntable in the automobiles that they came with in the 60s. Could have been a gyroscope for all we know.
Well, it was a genius setup. So I got discharged, and my next door neighbor was Don Ayers.
All right, so hang on. We're going to finish this story here. We're getting out of your next door neighbor. I just wanted to get you through high school and get that story out there because Dave Brubeck and the quartet probably tuned in to see, oh no, Graham's on the air. We got to pay for $80 again. That's pretty good. Don Graham is our guest, record promoter extraordinaire. This guy is the real deal. He is the guy who promotes all the big records. We'll tell you more straight ahead. Special edition of The Lounge. I'm Michael Horn.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-8803. 800-485-8803. 800-485-8803. Call right now. That's 800-485-8803.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante to see memorabilia of movie stars and theatrical magic right in downtown Fullerton, California. The Art of the Great Masters in an Italian town square complete with storefronts of old, Italian butchers and cheesemongers, fruit and wine vendors, seamstresses showing their wares, the romance of Romeo and Juliet. Find our mystical Room of the Moon, and don't forget King Kong, Dracula, Frankenstein, and who knows what awaits you in the wine cellar. Enjoy the great food. We hand stuff our pastas, roll each and every tortellini, bake our own bread, and make all of our sauces fresh from our private stock of Sicilian family recipes. Pasta to seafood, chicken to award-winning pizzas, tiramisu flown in from Rome. If you can't find something on our menu to tempt you, you don't like Italian food. Try our Sunday brunch, all you can eat, just $21.95. And Angelo's and Vinci's has been named the best Italian restaurant in Orange County 2 years in a row, and our owner has been named Restaurateur of the Year. Angelo's and Vinci's, Fullerton, California, 714-879-4022 or angelosandvinci's.com.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
We are having some fun in the lounge today, special edition. I'm Michael Horn. Our guest, record promoter Don Graham. This guy, no accident. He always loved music in high school, elected vice president of the student body, brought Dave Brubeck and many others to the campus for the big budget of $80 a show. He was into jazz music in the Navy. His friend invented a gyroscope so that Don could play his turntable at sea as everything rocked back and forth. Don would listen to all his good music. Gets through high school, goes to the Coast Guard, gets assigned to Alaska, comes back from Alaska, and now you're back. So you're looking for a job, and so you're talking about your neighbor. Tell us how your neighbor helped
my
out.
neighbor, like I told you, Mike, I was crazy about albums, and my neighbor, Don Ayers, his living room, all four walls, was floor-to-ceiling albums. It was like a...
So he had a ton of music then.
Yeah, and I said, Don, what do you do for a living? On the West Coast, sales manager for Capitol Records. I said, this is amazing. He said, what are you going to do now that you got discharged? I said, well, I'm going to go back to UC Berkeley, get my degree in humanities, and save the world. He said, well, when does that start? I said, in about 11 weeks. And he said, you want to get a job in the meantime? I said, yeah, in the record business? He said, right. I said, can I get free albums? You can get free albums.
Sold.
He said, meet me here tomorrow morning at 6:30. So I got up, met him at his house at 6:30.
This was in San Francisco now.
In Marin County.
Marin County, West Coast. The guy was a director for Capitol Records, West Coast. Okay.
Right. I got in his car with Don Ayers, the Capitol guy.
Right.
And he drove me to Sacramento. He says, I want you to meet this guy. We're going to start a new thing in the record business. And I said, great. So we got up there, and he said, Don, this is Russ Solomon. And I said, Russ Solomon, Mr. Solomon, I'm Don Graham. He said, okay. And he said, what are you going to do? Don says, you want a job? And I said, I really would like to be in the record business. He says, good. See that saw over there? And I said, yeah. He says, start sawing up those boards and make these cabinets hold these albums. I got to put a record store in here.
So this was at the guy's store you were at, and he wants them to do a record store and have a cabinet to put records
Right.
up.
Actually, it was a drugstore, and his father, Leo Solomon, owned Tower Drugs.
Tower Drugs in
And-
San Francisco, in Marin County.
His father said, Leo said to Russ, you could put a record department in here. So I was making these cabinets for the albums to put the records in, and Leo passed away. So Russ took down the Tower Drug sign and put up Tower Records.
So his dad passes away,
And-
so the kid, the son, takes down the
Right.
drug sign and puts Tower Records. Gee, where have I heard that before?
And at the end of the day, we were across the street at a bar, and I turned to Russ Solomon and I said, Mr. Solomon, he says, call me Russ. And I said, you're going to keep doing this? And he said, we're going to build these all across the United States. And I said, it'll never happen.
Why'd you say that?
Because, I'm making these shells. I don't want to do that the rest of my
You get to saw shelves for him for the rest of your life.
Right. So I figured out, I said, Russ, it'll never happen. He said, well, we'll see. I talked to Russ about 3 months ago. He answered the phone. Do you think it'll happen?
Still asking you that, right?
Right.
So this is the beginnings of Tower Records.
Right. I came back.
You worked for the guy that started. You and this guy were the first two employees officially of Tower Records.
That's right, Russ Solomon.
And so did he dump all the drugs out of the drugstore and it became a whole record store, the whole thing?
Exactly.
And did people go crazy like I would think they would have at that time?
They went nuts. And, I went back down to Marin County, and Russ told me, he said, if you see any properties down there that look like a good place, I want to start another one in San Francisco, another Tower Records. So at the corner of Columbus and Bay, Mike, in San Francisco, I saw an empty lot with a rundown Safeway store that said for lease. And I called Russ in Sacramento, and I said, Russ, it says for lease on this store. He said, sign the lease.
He didn't even look at it. He just
No,
trusted
he said,
you.
He said, you got enough space for parking? And I said, yeah, sign it. So I called up the number on there. The guy came down with the lease, and he said, the building is run down. And Mr. Solomon says sign it. So I signed it. We built Tower Records at the corner of Columbus and Bay.
Number 2 location.
Number 2. And it was just fabulous. And I worked there for Russ for about 3 months, and then Russ told
3
me,
months you did all this in 3 months?
right, for 3 or 4 months.
And then where do you go?
And Russ called me up one day and he said, we're going to start a new thing called rack jobbing.
What is rack jobbing?
RACK jobbing. And it's where you put the records in a rack, 40 titles, and people come into the rack and they buy records out of a rack.
Okay.
And at the rack, he said, when you put these racks in, you're going to build them yourself. And he said, you were good at the shelves, you're going to build these racks with 40 slots. And I'll supply the materials. And in your backyard, just build these racks on the weekend. I said, what is that? He said, I'll give you $50 for every location you get. So I started building these racks with 40 slots for 40
So
records.
these were remote Tower Records locations with the top 40 songs in them, right?
Right, exactly. So I got a panel truck, and I put the rack in the truck.
And you're driving them around.
And I pull up behind Woolworths on Market Street, and I get out of the truck.
Hang on. We got a break coming up. We're going to find out what happens when you get out of the truck. Don Graham is here. It's The Lounge. We're talking records.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.125%, APR 4.36%. But choosing the right mortgage lender involves so much more than just a rate. We've earned 12 J.D. Power Awards for client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage, a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online. So choose Quicken Loans, America's #1 online lender. Call 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
Hi, everyone. This is Fred Dreyer with some breaking news. My new movie, Highway 395, has just been released. Highway 395 is my latest movie and is now available for all of my friends and listeners to own. Highway 395 is a classic modern-day Western thriller. Action, romance, and the frontier spirit. It's all there in my new movie, Highway 395. Now, here's the best part. You can own this movie tonight by going to my brand new website, freddryer.co. Head to my website now at freddryer.co and check out the trailer. Then order the movie for a great night of entertainment. And while you're at freddryer.co, check out the memorabilia and my career highlights. But don't forget to order my new action thriller movie, Highway 395. So head over to freddryer.co. That's freddryer.co.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master-planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
Hi, this is Ron Sedgy, inviting you to join me for The Tonight Show of Radio every Saturday night, 9 to 11 Pacific Standard Time on CRN Digital Talk Radio. Now in our 24th year and well over 19,000 guests, The Ron Sedgy Show live originates from our Universal Radio studios. Celebrities from TV, music, movies, literature, politics, and show business, at one time or another, they all come to The Ron Sedgy Show. So why don't you?
We are back in the lounge. Yours truly, Michael Horn. Special edition today. We got Don Graham in the house. Record promotion man extraordinaire. Followed his career as a kid, loving music, jazz, and high school. Bringing the likes of Dave Brubeck and others into the high school auditorium there to perform, and the Coast Guard. Then starting Tower Records with the owner of Tower Records. Was Tower Drugs originally, and at Tower Records. And now this guy wants to do top 40 selling in a rack. He wants to do racks in stores so that you can go there and get the latest top 40 hits. So he tells you to build them, and then you're going out to put these in various locations, drugstores, department stores. You got a van that you get, and what happens?
These are counter racks, Mike, and you put them on the
counters, okay.
And you get 40 slots for 40 records.
Yep.
And I would put a rack, I'd build a rack and put it in the back of this panel truck, and I'd take the panel truck around behind Woolworths on Market Street, and I put on my suit coat, my tie, and get my business cards out.
Yep.
I say Tower Records, and I go in and I say, I'd like to talk to the manager. Oh, that's Mr. Phillips. I said, Mr. Phillips, my name is Don Graham, and I represent Tower Records. So we have a new concept for you called rack jobbing. He said, tell me about it. So I like to put a rack right over here next to your cash register, point of sale, with 40 titles of 40 records in it, and you pay for only what you sell. And once a week, a representative from Tower Records will come around and clean out the rack, the popcorn, and the broken records, and give you an invoice for what you sold. I think that's a terrific idea. What's your name again? I said, Don Graham. He said, okay, let's put the rack right over here next to the cash register. I said, I love that. I'll be right back. So I go back out to the van. I take off my tie, my sport coat. I put on a smock that said, Tower, Don, pencils, get the rack, and I started walking, and the guy said, "Weren't you just here?" And I said, "Right, I'm the guy."
I'm the guy that loads the rack. I'm going to go clean it out every week. So you jobbed and serviced the whole thing.
You're right. So I put it in. It was an immediate success. And I realized at the time, Mike, the most important music show in the United States was called Lucky Lager Dance Time.
Yeah, it was a big one on radio, yeah.
And so I said, I Lucky Lager Dance Time. They count back the 40 titles, and they play them 1 through 40, 40 through 1. And so I called New York, and I said, I'm looking for the McCann Erickson. McCann Erickson, hello, McCann Erickson. I said, I'd like to find a person, if you represent this agency represents Lucky Lager Dance Time, and who programs Lucky Lager Dance Time.
Who puts the music on there, yeah.
Right. They said, that's a gentleman named Mr. Bill Gavin. He's located in San Francisco. I said, oh, fantastic. And I hung up. I found out that Bill Gavin was...
The Bill Gavin that later had the Gavin Record Report.
He
programmed Lucky Lager Dance Time.
He was at 114 Sansom Street, 7th floor. I went down, I made an appointment, went down to see him, knocked on his door, said, come in. I walked in, and it was two offices. One was a lady typing in one office, and Gavin was facing the door. I said, Mr. Gavin, my name is Don Graham, and I have an appointment to see you. Right, what's on your mind, Mr. Graham? I said, I have these locations with these racks of 40 titles. If I could get the 40 titles that you're programming on Lucky Lager Dance Time, say on a Wednesday, I promise I will program all my racks by
Wow.
And he said, you would do that? And I said, at all your locations? I said, right. I had 2 at the time. So
every location.
And I said, I'll put signs in the window as featured on Lucky Lager Dance Time, see, in store.
Right.
And so he said, fabulous. Come by a Wednesday afternoon and get the list. Every Wednesday I would go by and get the Gavin list of the Lucky Lager Dance Time. And I put them in the window of the stores. Well, now...
Sales must have gone crazy then, right? Because people listened to it, right?
I went from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 locations.
Wow.
With Lucky Lager Dance Time in the window. All the Woolworth stores, W.T. Grant's.
Wow.
In the Bay Area. Well, it was a big success. And I used to go by and see Mr. Gavin and I, Bill Gavin and I established a real rapport. And so now I'm getting calls from these stores. I got calls from radio stations. They want to get the programming that's coming, you're featuring in the store. And I told Mr. Gavin, I said, Bill, you ought to start a publication, call it the Report or the Gavin Report or something. You got to start something.
Because he's programming the music, right? You might as well talk about
These stations want to see. They said, okay, fine. Janet, that's his wife. Come in, Don Graham. He said,
you gave Bill Gavin the idea, Don Graham, to do his record report sheet.
Exactly. The Gavin Report. So I used to pick up not only the list for Lucky Lager Dance Time, but I get his report that he typed
this
up.
Is great, Don.
And I'd give it to all my radio stations in the Bay Area. And
you're in the Coast Guard, you're in Alaska, you got Dave Brubeck in your high school, you start Tower Records, you go with the Gavin Report with Bill Gavin on Lucky Lager Dance Time. When do you start working as an independent guy on your own promoting records?
Years later I did that, but I had a couple of jobs in between.
What'd you do in between?
Oh, in between I had some terrific times. I really had some marvelous time. I started a job with Warner Brothers Pictures, started a record company.
Right.
And I was working at Eric Distributors because he called me up and he said, you working for Russ Solomon? I said, yeah. He said, I'll give you twice what Russ Solomon was paying you. Well, Russ was paying me $250 a week. So I said, twice? And he said, yeah. So I called Russ. I said, Herb Paninsky at Eric Distributing said, give me twice what you're paying me. He said, take the job. I said, no, I don't want to leave you. He said, take the job. You got to take it. So I went down and I became the counter guy at Eric Distributing. My job was to give all the will call orders. So people come in and pick up their orders and give them the new releases. We talk them into buying the new releases. Well, one day, a guy walks in the back of Eric Distributing and he said to Herb Paninsky, hello, Herb. And it was Hal Cook, the president of Warner Brothers Records.
Oh, my.
Warner Brothers Pictures started a record company. He said, Irv, we started this record company. We want you to be our distributor.
So now you're going to be the distributor for Warner Brothers, right?
Irv Paninsky is.
Irv Paninsky is. And you're working for Irv.
I was the guy with a smock on that said, Eric. You know, and so he said, you're going to be our distributor, but we want you to have one stipulation, one requirement. Is what's that? He said, Hal said to Irv, we've got to have our own promotion, man. Irv said, you're in luck. Graham, take off that smock.
So you become the promotion man for Warner Brothers Records.
Right. I had no idea what he was talking about.
This has started your career in record promotion then, as far as working the radio stations and saying kind of what, being the Bill Gavin saying, here's our big hits, and you're not programming one show, you're going to stations all over the country.
You're right, Mike. What happened was unbelievable.
But they didn't really have any artists, did they, at Warner Brothers at the time?
Zero.
So how do you promote zero? How do you get artists? What'd you do?
I got to tell you about that.
All right, hang on. We're coming back with more. Don Graham is here. So now we got you at Warner Brothers Records. You are the promotion man for Warner Brothers Records. One problem, they don't have any record material right now. They don't have any artists.
No.
This is brand new. This sounds like a good job if they're paying you twice what you were before. You got nothing to promote.
You're making $500.
Let's see, making $500. We better get him something to work on. We'll find out more straight ahead. Stay with us on the lounge.
At Ferguson, service is our most important part. So if service is the part you're missing from your supply house, come into one of our 600 nationwide locations and let our team help yours. Whether it's tracking down those hard-to-find parts, having your order ready and waiting at our will call, or helping you manage your inventory with our SKU app and online ordering, the edge every trade professional needs is right around the corner. And with Ferguson Pro Plus, you'll earn redeemable points with every online purchase. Come into one of our locations or visit Ferguson.com today.
As soon as we're back out in our yard, we get company.
Dandelions, lurking crabgrass, and weak-thin grass. But the all-new Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action takes care of them all. Now, with one bag, you can kill weeds, prevent crabgrass for up to 4 months, and feed for greener grass. Triple Action, so your lawn thrives, guaranteed. Only from Scott's.
Weeds aren't welcome here.
This is a Scott's Yard. Pick up a bag of Scott's Triple Action today.
To promote my new flower shop, I had one place print my business cards, another print my brochures, and a third, my signs. Now my roses aren't red, my violets aren't blue, my geraniums look dead, and I don't know what to do.
Staples can help your business stand out with signs, banners, and brochures that are a true reflection of your company. And now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase.
Now my business is blossoming, and I'm spending less green.
Exclusions apply. In-store only. Ends 6/23/18.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
We are back in the lounge, special edition today with Don Graham, the great record promoter who, when we last found him, he had gone to work for Warner Brothers Records, and they need a promotion guy, so he becomes a promotion guy, but there's a problem. They don't have any records, nor do they have any artists. So what do you, Don Graham, help them do?
I went to a telephone booth, Mike, and I pulled out the yellow pages, and I ripped out radios. Because I didn't know where the radio stations were.
Right.
And the directory had all the radio stations in the Bay Area and the phone numbers and the addresses. So I go back to my house and I call up these radio stations. My name's Don Graham and I work for Warner Brothers Records. A new record company just started, and I want to make an appointment to see the program director. Oh, fine. That'd be next Tuesday at 12 o'clock. And I made appointments at 9, 12, 14 different radio stations.
Wow.
In the Bay
Everybody
Area.
in the Bay Area.
And I went around and, how do you do? My name's Don Graham. Nice for you to come by. Warner Brothers Records, I told them the story. And we don't have any releases right now because we don't have any artists. And they said,
but you're still meeting them.
I wanted to find out what your format was and what you play and
right.
What's the best
time.
You're
doing advanced work here.
Yeah, so I wanted to see what the best times to see them and that kind of thing. And they said, well, thanks for coming by. So I got my first records were just terrible, Mike, because, Warner Brothers didn't, like I said, didn't have...
They had no artists.
They had no talent.
So who was your first record?
They had some very successful television shows.
Sure, they had Hawaiian Eye at the time and all that 77 Sunset Strip.
Right, my first record was a terrible record.
What was it?
I got it in, I was listening to it, and listening to both sides. It was a single, and I said, well, I'll try. I went to KOBY at 340 Mason Street, and I went to see the program director, Bobby Beers. I said, Mr. Beers, call me Bobby. You came by 2 weeks ago, and I'd like you to come by and introduce yourself. So now I have my first record. You see, I put it on, and I put the B-side on a turntable, and he said, I don't think so. He turned it over and listened to it. I think this is a hit. Kooky, lend me your comb.
The famous Kooky, lend me your comb?
He said, I think this is a hit. I said, fantastic, you're right. I was on the wrong side. So
he liked the B-side better than the A-side, right?
I did.
You did. You liked the B-side better.
Right, and he said, no. This Kooky side, that's the side. And so I said, you're absolutely right. I'm wrong. I got so excited about the idea of having a record on the air. So he started playing it. I went back to him 3 days later, and I said, I got an idea. What's that? Send in your old comb and get a Kooky comb from Warner Brothers.
Because Kooky was the guy on 77 Sunset Street that used to comb his hair. Ed Burns was the actor, right? He had this great mop of hair.
Send in your old comb and get a Kooky comb from Warner Brothers.
Right.
With a self-addressed envelope. So he once an hour he's playing Kooky, lend me your comb, and mentioned the contest exclusive on KOBY. So 2 weeks later I get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning, Mike. It was Bobby Beers, the program. Graham! He said, get over here. And I said, why is that?
How many combs?
In the lobby, we've got 12 large mail bags full of dirty combs. And you got to come over and take the old comb out and put the new comb in the self-addressed envelope. So I was there for 2 days taking these old combs out.
Come on. How many pieces of mail?
Oh, man, I guess it was...
80,000 combs, somebody said, something like that, huh?
Yeah, it was about 80 or 90,000.
80 or 90,000 combs?
I got some photographs. It was piles of combs. But I called up Warner Brothers and talked to Joe Smith, the national director of promotion. I said, Joe, I need about 80 or 90,000 combs.
What did he say?
He said, we're in the record business. What are you selling combs? He said, wait a minute. We're getting all kinds of orders for Kooky, lend me your comb. Graham, how many combs you need? You get all the combs you want. So I told him, he said, that's a genius. Oh, okay.
You came up with that. That's a great promotional idea. You had Connie Stevens on the label. You had our very own Robert Conrad. He was on Hawaiian Eye. You had his album you promoted, right?
Robert came to San Francisco, and I took him around for interviews. And
what was that like?
Oh, it was really amazing.
He was a tough guy, wasn't he?
He knows everything. And he's got his own opinions about things.
Yes, really, I didn't notice that. You had Roger Smith was also a star on that show. Now, what about you start working also for, was it the Hungry Eye Club or something? Tell us this story where you had...
Enrico Banducci, the owner of the Hungry Eye, and I were close friends. And
yes.
I used to help him book acts in there, and I'd bring acts to him and, warm-up acts and opening acts and things like that. And for a while, I co-managed the Kingston Trio, and we had an office right across the street. So I got a call one day from New York, and he said, "You Don Graham?" And I said, "Right." "Well, this is Albert Grossman." I said, "Sure it is." This is Richard Nixon. He said, "No, it's really Albert Grossman." I said, "Okay, Mr. Grossman, what can I do for you?" He said, "Well, I got a fantastic group, a trio that's killing them in the village. And I want to get him into the Hungry Eye." I said, "I'll give you Enrico Banducci's number." "I can't stand Enrico Banducci. I don't like that guy. He's a liar, a cheat." And I said, "Well, what do we only do?" He said, "You get him in there, and I'll give you 25% of what they get." And I said, "You got a deal." So he said, I went down to see Enrico, and I said, "I got the hottest trio in America. They're killing him in Greenwich Village, and I want to get him in the Hungry Eye." He said, "What's their name?" I said, "Peter, Paul, and Mary." He says, "A dumb name for a group. Is that a candy?"
Nobody knew who they were at the time, right?
He said, "Is that a candy bar?" And I said, "No."
Peter, Paul, and Mary's a candy
bar. I said, "No." I said, they got to get him in the Hungry Eye. He said, "Oh, okay, I'll tell you what. They can open for," at the time we had Barbra Streisand, and the Kingston Trio were opening for Barbra Streisand. And they could open for the trio. And I said, that'd be at 6:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. And he said, "Do you want them or not?" I said, "Yeah." So
now you got to get a crowd there at 6 o'clock.
Right.
How do you do that?
Well, I picked the trio up and I bring them down there, and I said, "Enrico's going to have you in." He said, "Okay, fine. He's going to give you $300." He said, Peter said, that's good, 300 apiece. I said, no, 300 total for the group for 1 week. So, and you got to be down there at 6 o'clock.
For a week, they're going to perform for $300, $100 for each one.
One show at night at 6 o'clock. So we go down there, and there's 2 waiters and a guy sleeping in the doorway. That's it.
We got more from Don Graham. We got to hear this story, how he promotes Peter, Paul, and Mary. Stay tuned to the lounge. Don Graham is here.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
The legends of Kaanapali Luau at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel will take your breath away with an abundant feast, spellbinding dances, and music from Lei Pono Productions. Be greeted with a lei and browse to see island crafts made by local artisans. As you hear the pu or conch shell blow, your luau experience will begin. The featured entree is a whole roasted pig and a bountiful menu of some of Hawaii's favorite food choices. Oh, you can't forget our famous made in-house taro poi. As your night comes to an end under the spell of the moon, be amazed by the famous firewalk. By the end of the night, you'll be full, and we hope you'll have made new friends and some forever memories while you continue to listen to music from Maui's local Hawaiian musicians every Monday night at Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel. Kaanapali Beach Hotel, voted Best Aloha Spirit by Hawaii Magazine readers. Call 667-0128 or visit legendsofkaanapali.com for your exciting island adventure.
I don't know where this hour's gone, but it's flying by. We're in the lounge. I'm Michael Horn. Our guest is Don Graham, record promoter extraordinaire. We got him now at the you're at the Hungry Eye. You're trying to get Peter, Paul, and Mary a gig there, and I don't know why you're looking around for promotion people for other artists of yours, because it sounds like you did a good job here. $300 for the week, $100 each. They're going to open at 6 o'clock. How do you get a crowd to show up at 6?
It was insane, you know. So I figured out what I could do as I went back over to Drake High, where I graduated from.
Yep.
And I went to the student body president, and I said, I used to go to Drake High here. I got to make you a deal. And he said, what's the deal sound like? And I said, well, I'm going to give you the hottest trio in America here, free for your rally in the gym at 12 noon next Friday. He said, you do that? It's free. You got them. The trio will come. They accompany themselves, and they'll perform for an hour. That's fine. He said, okay, that's fantastic. I said, I need a favor. What do you need? I need a riot. He said, what do you mean? I said, I want people to show up at the corner of Columbus and Bay. And
that's the Hungry Eye, right?
Yeah, at the Hungry Eye. and with signs, we want Peter, Paul, and Mary. We want Peter, Paul, and Mary. And I want smoke bombs and firecrackers, and I really want to cause chaos. And the Hungry I was down the stairs, so they were throwing smoke bombs. It was 5 o'clock.
You little radical, you.
On Wednesday night, and
radical.
this big riot. I had 3 photographers there taking pictures.
You call the photographers to show up, right?
They're taking pictures, and I told the photographers, I want 8x10 prints, and I want them overnight. They said, okay, fine. They called me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We got the prints, Graham. Meet me at 6 o'clock. I called Herb Cain's office. He was the big writer for Chronicle. Jerry Bunsen, his assistant, answered the phone. I said, Jerry, I got pictures of the riot at Hungry I last night. Bring them down here. So I went down there. I'm laying them out on the desk, and Herb walked in, and he said, what are these? I said, these are photographs, Herb, from the riot at the Hungry I last night. He said, they look pretty professional to me. I said, well, I told him the whole story. He loved it. The next day in the Herb Cain Baghdad by the Bay column, he's plugging Peter, Paul, and Mary at the Hungry I.
And the riot.
Well, lions now are around the block.
People got to see them now, right?
You got to see them. And the Hungry I see it at tops 700 people. 3 shows a night. The Hungry I. Enrico signed them for a month.
And did they play at the high school?
Oh, yeah.
You wrapped it all back to the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
What can I tell you? And we got to bring you back because you are the guy that introduced Bill Drake and Gene Chenault.
Oh, that was a complete accident.
It was a hot day, and they went inside, and you're frying your brains out in Fresno.
Right.
While those guys started their own connection, right?
112 degrees in Fresno, California. At 12 noon, we pull in the parking lot at Kino, Kyno, and Bill Drake said, do you know that guy's here? And I said, yeah. I was driving him down to L.A. for a meeting. And he said, well, is the owner a friend of yours? I said, Gene Chenault. He said, go get Mr. Chenault and tell him to come out here. I want to talk to him. I said, come on inside. I got to tell Mr. Chenault to come out here. I went inside, and his assistant, Bernie Torres, came out and said, what are you doing here, Graham? I said, I got to see Mr. Chenault. I got Bill Drake sitting out in the car. Tell him to come in. He won't. It's too hot. So Gene Chenault started laughing. He said, okay, I'll go out. He got in the car with Drake. I went back and talked to Bernie.
And they're in the car outside with the air conditioning going, right?
The air conditioning
having their private meeting.
Right.
And Drake Chenault, that's Boss Radio. That's how it all started.
20 minutes later, Drake walks in. He said, do me a favor, drive my car back to San Francisco. I'm staying here.
I'm staying in Fresno.
I made a deal with Gene Chenault. I'm gonna make his ratings jump in the first 2 books, or I quit.
And he did. That's our show, everybody. That's Don Graham. We're going to have him back for more stories. You're still promoting, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got Deborah Silver. You got everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Dina Martin. You're doing adult standards these days,
yeah,
right?
Right, exactly.
That's the guy, Don Graham. Check him out. You got a website they can go check you out?
No, I don't have a website.
We're going to build a website.
I just got a phone.
That's good. I'm glad you got a phone. He's finally got it. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Donnie Graham.
Thank you, Mark. You're the best.
CRN Digital Talk Radio prides itself on being the station of every situation. And you can listen to us on nearly any platform and device. Download to your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry episodes of What's Cookin'. And take Master Sommelier Michael Jordan with you to the wine shop so he can help you pick out that perfect bottle of wine. Stream episodes of the Sonoma Wine Report through our CRN app, TuneIn Radio, Nobex, Stitcher, UTunes, or AHA Radio, and start planning that unforgettable weekend in the wine country. They're in your corner on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other apps. And of course, you can always listen live through your local cable TV provider, as well as on our website at crntalk.com. For more information on where to listen to these great shows, along with many others, log on to crntalk.com and create your own listening experience today.
The radio channels. The radio channels. CRN.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters. The White House says former FBI Director James Comey has a credibility problem. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Responding to Comey's memoir, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders accused the former FBI director of leaking classified information and breaking his sacred trust with the president, the FBI, and the public. She called Comey a disgraced partisan hack and said one of Donald Trump's greatest achievements will be the firing of James Comey.
In his new book, A Higher Loyalty, Comey writes that the president is, quote, unethical and untethered to